So Terry, we got another elephant.
Yeah!
Well, I don't know about yeah, because people are like haymakers. Okay, so you ready for one?
They're not giving us easy questions.
No, their elephants are hairy and furry and gross.
Okay,
I mean they're big ones. All right.
Okay.
So here's our question. Here's our elephant. Why do Christians care so much about abortion, but seem to care very little about the person afterwards?
Oh, man, that makes me feel a certain kind of way inside. I want to dive right into that one.
Oh, yeah. All right. So the question did not say, biblically, why is it wrong, why is it right? It said, why do Christians? And here's why we do, okay? The Bible is very clear. Just like we said in homosexuality, it breaks my heart. I wish it was easy. I wish I had a cop-out. But life begins at conception, okay? So that's what the Bible teaches, okay? So if that's our absolute authority, that's what we got to go with. So we believe that abortion is murder. And now, I would also like to say a lot of my pro-choice friends, they would not say it was murder. So when we jump to conclusions, assume
murder!
They're pro-murder, that is not true. Or they don't care about the value of life. That is not true either. In fact, we're going to get into a story about that. That was actually the opposite that you found.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. The reason why Christians, especially American Christians, we can kind of get a little carried away about it is that murder can be legislated. So if we control the lawmakers, because we believe it's murder, we can eliminate it. And I think everyone would agree that eliminating murder is good, but we do have to agree to the fact that not everyone views it as that, or that the person who does it just doesn't care about the value of life.
Yeah. Conversating with a friend of mine a while back, he came in and, he was kind of, he was down a little bit. And I'm like, hey, what's up, brother? What's going on? And he's like, man, I just had to give my niece a little bit of money. She had to go get an abortion. Kind of broke my heart right off the top. I'm like, wait, you gave her some money? And now listen, before I finish this story, because I just already feel like there's people out there. The reasons why he gave her the money was she's struggling with the job. She's struggling with the father of the child. She's struggling with a lot of things. She's in a bad place.
She's made poor choices.
She's made poor choices. And he knew that if she had the child, that the life of the child, the likeliness of the child having a good life was not going to be very good. Now, I know there's people that say, why doesn't she get a better job? Why is the baby daddy not around?
Does she not? What causes that?
All those things, and some of that could be justified, I think, in some cases. But there are instances where people are just having bad issues, and there's no preventing that.
Well, even if that instance you could, if she does that, she is. So what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, we get so caught up in waving the flag about the abortion itself, but we don't ever talk about the fact that after the baby is born, from the womb to the tomb, Blake.
Yeah, so our church, we do things like food pantry. We have families. We have some very large families.
Very large
families.
Like
we literally have a family. You name a people group, they have a child they've adopted. I always love it when people go, well, you can adopt, and they've got one child naturally, and they've never adopted.
Right.
So not our people, man. They are running towards it. They're loving on people. And so it is, man, it's food pantry. It's loving on people. We as a church, we purposely as staff, dedicate 10% of our work time to pouring into our community because we believe womb to the tomb. So we do believe it. And I'd love to share with you a story about a sweet lady who I think pictures this perfectly. Okay? So she was telling me, she goes, Blake, I'm so tired of preachers preaching politics from the Bible or on the pulpit, but not doing both sides. She goes, did you know, Blake? And she was preaching. She was like, you can't preach Republican and Democrat because they ain't the Bible, neither one of them. She goes, you got to preach both sides. I was loving it. I was like, preach. And she goes, and I'm tired of people going around and saying pro-life, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, Blake, I'm pro-life, but I'm an OB.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's going to get good.
And legally, she has to walk these sweet ladies through abortion. She's a Christian. She believes she has to walk a lady through murder, but she has to legally. So she's left with something. Remember when we talked about when we live in crisis of morality, we can either run to holiness or truth or justice, or we can run to love? So thankful she ran to love. She goes to these ladies and she walks them through what the process would be. And she doesn't do it to intimidate, but to educate. She even tells them that afterwards, because I think a lot of people think, well, you just have the abortion and you're all good. No. There are even pro-choice people that it is not a pro-life propaganda, that there's a lot of stuff going through that lady's life for the rest of her life because of that decision. And so she tells them that. And then she says, I love you. And she'll wear like a cross necklace, and then the person makes a comment about, are you Christian or something like that. She goes, do you mind if I pray for you, just to love on you? And then she, whatever the person decides, walks them through it, and not just after like right immediately, stays with them. And she has told me that she has literally had a relationship with these ladies for over 10 years.
Man, that is incredible.
You know how much influence she has?
Man, I bet you she has a lot more influence than those folks that take their pulpit and they wave their flags about killers. You know, I'm pro-life. If you're not, you're... I don't know about you, but when people... 1 in 3 women have abortions, like literally statistically.
We know that.
So if there's 30 women in a room and you're yelling out from your pedestal, killers, murderers, I wonder how many, that's 10 women, right? In a room and you think that they all felt great about their decision? I mean, just that part of it.
And even if they did, you've completely ostracized and divided them. And again, remember, why do we deal with elephants? To point people to Jesus. Now here's the thing. This is going to get a little uncomfortable here. All right? So we understand the Bible teaches that an aborted child goes to heaven. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay? All throughout Scripture, it teaches that. So that do not think I justify it. I do not. I do believe it's wrong and I want it to stop. But here's the thing. Only an adult can choose to follow Jesus.
Man, you know, I hate to say this too, and I'm going to explain after I say it, but I believe that God is pro-choice.
I knew it. You 3 trails, you stinking liberal toters, I knew it. I mean, I see you on Facebook. You talk like Jesus, but I think you're starting to sound like a serpent, Terry. Serpent.
You got me.
Okay.
My only point is, just like your OB friend, God is, what he does is he loves on us. If we make bad decisions, he still loves on us.
He allows us to make the bad decisions.
He allows us to he gives us a choice. He says, hey, you can be with me or you can be against me.
Or do your own thing.
Choice. That's all up to you. He gives us a choice. I know that God would never say, yeah, I'm for abortion. I'm not saying that at all. I know polar opposite that.
Yes.
But I'm saying if God gives us a choice and he doesn't beat us over the head with his thought processes or what we should, there's no lightning bolts that come down when we sin, thank God.
Yeah.
How do we look in trying to get our agenda across to somebody and say that they're dead wrong because the Bible says it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Are we influencing them at all? Is that pointing them to Jesus?
No. And guys, this is personal to me. My great-grandmother died in a botched abortion. My grandmother really the reason why we were raised in a Christian home was that my grandmother was adopted by the Sweet Claytons. And so this is not just me not being affected by it, blah, 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 running to this. Guys, this is really important. And I just want us to stop. Let's just pause. We can't make someone get an abortion, right? That's correct. Can't make, all right? What if we, as followers of Jesus, decided to take all of our efforts and all of our energies and all the money that we've put to legislating morality, to actually loving on people?
Man.
What would it look like?
I believe it would start with affecting your immediate circle, and then your community, and your community would affect other communities, and pretty soon you would have a world of change because instead of legislating, you'd be loving, and love goes a lot further, as we all know, than legislation does.
Well, because you know legislation always works, because if the speed limit sign says 35, we all know we drive 35.
I'm going 35. I mean,
So
I don't know about
guys,
those non-Christians.
So you can either love on people or not. No, guys, this is what we've talked about so many times about the elephants in the room. We love them because it gives us opportunities to point people to Jesus. We need your elephants. Keep bringing them. They're going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to put us in awkward spots because we have to view it from the point of pointing you to Jesus and not pointing you to a holy standard, a holiness standard that we don't even live up to.
Absolutely. And guys, please, before you stop thinking, before you look, I mean, you just show somebody this video and say, look, Blake and Terry said that God is pro-choice. Before you do all that, listen to the words that are coming out of our mouth. And even more importantly than that, get in your word. Understand the love of God. Then look at the video, assess it, do that, and bring us some more of these elephants so that we can affect our community, right?
And so you guys can affect your community and influence us. We love you guys. Thank you for the time. Have a great day.
See you next time.